So I wanted to talk about grammatical mistakes. I was thinking of analage recently, which is when you use an effective grammatical mistake, and it is more effective and has a greater impact than if you use the grammatically correct version of something. Like saying, "we was robbed" was the example in the book's Figures of Speech. If that person would have said "we were robbed," they would have been ignored, and what they said wouldn't have had any great impact at all. But since they said "we was robbed," it had a greater impact and it fit the situation better than if they would have used something grammatically correct. And I just think that's kind of funny that there can be a grammatical definition for using something that is grammatically incorrect, but that makes it more effective than using something grammatically correct. But I also was thinking about using effective grammatical mistakes in your writing for greater impact. And I have done this. I've taken the grammatical risks, I would like to call them. I'm trying to find a better word for them, and I think grammatical risks is a really good take and a really good way to describe it. Because, for example, in an essay worth like 22% of my grade, I started it with a one-word sentence. Because you're taking this risk, and it's like adrenaline filled, and you're like, is it gonna pay off? Is it gonna work? And it did. I think I did get 100 on that essay, or at least in the 90s. But it was really risky. When you have an essay that's worth 22% of your grade, I started it with a one-word sentence, which obviously one word cannot be a sentence, but I did it anyways. Or taking little risks like breaking the rule of the essay and making it a little narrative. There were some times when that did not pay off, and there were some times when it worked. When I added a rhetorical question in there and my teacher allowed it, and there were many times when they did not. But also, there were times when it paid off, and it helps when you cannot take these risks throughout the entire essay. Adding a bunch of one-word sentences and a bunch of rhetorical questions and a bunch of this and a bunch of that is not going to work out in your favor at all. You really need to use it like seasoning, and not even like seasoning. You know, some people like a lot of seasoning. You need to use this like you would I always use whiskey as an example. I have to stop doing that. You ain't gonna drink five to 8 shots of whiskey. You're gonna have 1 or 2, okay? And rarely. So when you use this stuff in your essays, do it rarely, but take the risk. It does pay off sometimes. Speculative risks. But it's scary to take them, but they make your essay so much more appealing and so much more soul-filled you have to first learn the rules before you can break them. So adding in those tiny breaks in the rules can sometimes complete your essay and make it even better. I do not agree with the writers who are saying that you should be purely academic or like formal. You should remain purely academic, but the definition of academic may vary. For me, academic should be professional and soulful. Your writing should not be bland. Even if it is a report, it should not be bland. Maybe a report can be bland, but your writing, it should be easily to tell that it is from a human. And you should strive for your academic writings to be soulful and beautiful and deep and diverse. It should not be boring to read. Even if you're writing on the most boring subject, it should be beautiful to read if you know how to write it correctly.